Mississippi's Sky Parade. Shortly before daybreak, the balloonists and their crews mass on the Sky Parade fairgrounds in Jackson, Mississippi, in a large red-striped tent. Receive flight instructions, coffee and donuts, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, air calm, light fog lifting. Each crew receives a map showing 3 targets. I ride in a white Ford F-250 XLT Lariat pickup, a trailer behind packed with a balloon and gear, a dozen volunteers all piled into the double cab and the truck bed. We drive to an open field northeast of the fairgrounds. Air at different levels moves at varying directions at different speeds, the pilot explains as they unpack, assemble the balloon. The art of guiding a balloon involves rising or sinking to altitudes where the wind will take you where you want to go. This crew spreads a huge ground cloth, unrolls a white airbag upon it, drags a large wicker basket out of the trailer, attaches burners atop a metal framework, affixes the balloon to the basket, starts the roaring spurts of propane flame that will heat the air inside the envelope. The pilot releases a blue helium-filled toy balloon, watches it rise, move with the winds aloft. "Uh-oh," he says, shaking his head. "It does not seem possible to fly to the targets from here." 24 other balloon crews, their brightly colored skycraft already spread upon the grass, stare glumly into the blue. Watch our test balloon meander maddeningly out of sight. "Do you want to move?" asks the young, most energetic female member of the crew. But the pilot waits without reply, watches with an experienced eye the way the wind shifts as the sun rises higher. At 8 a.m. the fog is gone. The balloon, fully inflated, strains at ropes held by crew members. The pilot sends great bursts of flame skyward and calls me to step onto an opening halfway up the side of the basket. Climb in for my first flight. Then suddenly, with only the shushing of wind in the wicker and an occasional roar of gas jets, we lift off, seem to fall upward. Crew, truck, trailer, soon even the vast field of unlaunched balloons, the winding street we drove along, all shrink to the size of toys, miniatures, distant anthills, lost at last, indistinguishable. With sometimes surprising speed, the huge balloon moves southwest on the wind. The pilot watches other craft already aloft for clues to air movement. He fires the burners. The bulky flying bag rises. He pulls ropes to release some hot air. The oversized craft, shaped like a 20-pound propane cylinder, levels out, sinks even, as wind currents carry us along. "This balloon is just a little slower about reacting to everything," says the pilot. The cylindrical bag above us is so large that it takes longer than average to fill with hot air. But soon on this warm, sun-bright morning, we fly above the birds, seem to sail on sunshine. The altimeter shows 2,000 feet, nearly half a mile. The pilot speaks to the ground crew by a walkie-talkie, watches for the first X on the ground ahead, while I take photos of all the colorful balloons floating along with us, moving together like some silent, improbable sky herd. Suddenly, a big balloon bearing the logo of a local television station rises menacingly immediately in front of us, appears with the abrupt reality of a 10-story building emerging from fog, hot-dogging just far enough ahead of us to avoid a collision this time. But our pilot emphatically exclaims the name of a major religious figure and takes prompt evasive action, drops us below and behind the TV balloon. Tells me to keep a sharp lookout below from then on. Begins to maneuver toward our first ground target. The wind proves unpredictable, though, even to his practiced eye. We dropped low near the first X. Fly too wide of the mark. The pilot pitches his identifying beanbag like a major leaguer, but the packet drops short of the mark. Later, we deposit the next two more accurately. As we pass over Jackson International Airport, a balloon below us appears dangerously low, likely to collide with the terminal building. Instead, the apparently highly skilled balloonist flies his basket right past the control tower windows, waves and mugs at the controllers. The lush green countryside of Mississippi spreads beneath us, forests and meadows, fairgrounds and airport. It all drifts past pleasantly as if in some dream of flight, jets of fire above us, warming our brows. Ahead, our ground crew stands by the truck, and as we head down to earth again, they stop automobile traffic so we can swoop low over a road, bump down on a vacant field. The basket creaks as it touches solid ground. Everyone rushes over to hold down our deflating airbag, keep gusts from dragging the basket too far from the truck. We climb out quickly, help to roll up the balloon, pack it away until later in the day when I chase another flight, this time ride with the ground crew. Most families outside their houses, watching nearly 200 hot aircraft float prettily overhead. People who notice our truck and trailer actually cheer for us. Children wave, everyone smiles. This time, at dusk, the pilot sets down hard on the fairway of a private golf course. The crew walks the partially deflated balloon up the hill to the trailer. A few golfers glance up from their games, smile, wave, then play through.